What is classification? Classification is something we do all the time without even realizing about it. For example, you would have classified people in your mind as good, bad, or maybe neutral. So it's not a rocket science that I'm introducing the concept of classification. We do it all the time. In fact, many times without our conscious effort. So what is classification? It is simply about bringing together things which are similar. You will have your own personal way of classifying the world based on your personal experiences. If I classify cat as a pet, someone might classify it as a pest. So is classification only about tangible things like animals or things? What about ideas, technologies? Can they be classified? Yes, of course. It is known as knowledge classification, which groups intangible things based on their similarities. A word commonly associated with classification is class or group. So what is this class? Well, class could be as simple as the output of a classification process. Are there types of classification that we need to be aware of? Yes, there are two kinds of main classifications. One is enumerative classification. What is this enumerative? Well, as the word itself indicates, it just enumerates or lists down all potential classes into which things can be classified. You will find it often in a library to classify books, biological taxonomy, to classify organisms, living beings, is an excellent example of enumerative classification we learned way back in our school days. So what is the second type of classification? It is known as faceted classification. Sounds fascinating, right? Let us explore it. If enumerative classification uses pre-built classes, faceted classification builds its own classification and on the go. Faceted classification, or more precisely colon classification, was developed by Dr. S.R. Ranganathan way back in 1930s. He was inspired among many things, in fact, by a Meccano toy set which he saw in a London departmental store. The Meccano toy looks similar to a current Lego toy. Have a look at this Lego video where simple blocks are combined in various ways to build different toys. The concept of faceted classification, very similar to this Lego video or the Lego toy, It gives you an opportunity to build your own classes, and then also, just like the Lego toy, break them apart and again reuse the classes, reuse the facets. Okay, but why do I need a classification? That's a more fundamental question. The purpose of classification is to arrange things so that you can easily find them when required. Look at your kitchen. I am sure you will find a spoon even if you are blindfolded. Of course, if the kitchen is well organized. So, organizing similar things, be it in kitchen or workspace or at your home, will help you to find things easily and save your time. So, what is this patent classification? Patent classification is nothing but grouping similar patents together. A popular enumerative classification for patents is International Patent Classification, or abbreviated as IPC. Patents are placed in this hierarchical, well organized classification system. Join me to explore IPC and its contents. Friends, let us now explore International Patent Classification. Let us start in Google. I am going to just type International Patent Classification. Okay, then I will get this link. Let me enter this. Now I am going to first show you guide to the IPC, because this will help us uh, better understand the structure of IPC. I'll keep using this abbreviation for International Patent Classification, IPC. So this is the latest guide. So I'm going to straight away jump. You can have a look at this very interesting document. I will straight away go to the layout of classification symbols. How is it organized? What is the structure of this? So as you can see, there is a section. So it's basically a hierarchical classification system, an enumerative system. It has section, class, subclass, group in this order. Section is the highermost. In fact, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sections, and these are the titles of each of these sections. They are from A to H. And then you have subsections. For example, section A, which is human necessities, has agriculture, foodstuffs, etc., which are the subsections. Subsection would then have class, H01, and then class title, and then there is a subclass within that, which is going to further define this area of science and technology, and so on and so forth. And then you have a group, and then within group there is a subgroup, which kind of defines the technology with a high degree of granularity. Okay, now if I go down in the same guide, I can show you the structure of classification. As you can see here, A01, B 33/00. Okay, so this is how the classification structure looks like. It's a tree-like structure, and it's a hierarchical structure. There are a lot of details that if you want to understand, please visit this guide. You will get a good idea of how IPC is developed. Okay, now let me go back in this from this from this guide back to the page where we came from. Okay, so this was the original page that we landed in before going into the guide. Now let me access straight away the International Patent Classification. How does it actually look like, the real version? So if you see here, this is the page on where I can actually explore all those groups, classes which lie within these 8 sections. Okay, if I hit plus button, I see the tree structure here. A01 for example has come up and many other subsections. If I hit this plus again it will expand A01B, C, D, right? So let's get into one of them. A01B is, now we are looking at human necessities, agriculture, and in agriculture it is soil working in agriculture or forestry. So again if I go into this, I will get hand tools, plows, elements tools. So this is how I can go further down. So there is more clarity now. Spades, shovels, etc. Tools for uprooting specific things like weeds. So you have more in-depth understanding of that particular technology. Into these classification or classes, patents are classified if it belongs to that area. If something relates to, let's say, tools for uprooting weeds, that patent would be classified under this class, that is A01B116. So my next fundamental question is, why do we still need a patent classification? Well, patent classification groups similar patents, very important. Watch out for this. Even if these patents are described by different words, this is very important. This helps us to find those patents easily and save our time. So is IPC good enough? Yes, IPC has got a lot of benefits, but being an enumerative classification, it tries to list down the entire universe of science and technologies. Is that possible? Think about it. Even for argument's sake, let's say all the past patents were classified using IPC. But how do we classify future patents? That is, technologies which are not even born. In fact, this is a well-known handicap of not just IPC, but in general the enumerative classification, which in fact inspired Dr. S.R. Ranganathan to build faceted classification. Faceted classification system is also known as analytico-synthetic system, since it analyzes subject to be classified and then generate a custom classification for that subject. Okay, so this was a quick overview. So what next? In my upcoming videos, I will share more interesting details of faceted classification and how you can use them. E-commerce uses faceted classification extensively. So watch out for my upcoming videos in this space and do subscribe to my channel for these videos. And let me know in the comment section your thoughts, your suggestions on what kind of videos you want in future. I will try to include them. Bye for now.